Dr. Michelle Richards. I am the Joy Doctor, and you are listening to the Joy Doctor, Ask the Joy Doctor show. Today, we will be talking about rest and retreat. First, in order to set this up, the first question is about why our society is so busy and rushed. So you've got to understand that our society is built on capitalism. And so it's instilled in us that we need to work hard, we need to work long hours, we need to work on weekends, we shouldn't take vacations. And also, we have the added threat that if we don't do that, someone else will. If someone else will, we could lose our jobs and our livelihoods and our way for taking care of ourselves. So, back in the day, in the agrarian society, that is when we did farming, right? We still worked long hours. We worked from sunrise to sundown. We did it within the context of our families, maybe neighbors or we could hire, what do they call it? Somebody, cowboy hands, people to help us to do that. But it was all in the context of the home. We didn't have to go outside of the home. And we didn't have the fear of losing our job. Maybe it was all menial, but there is also meaning in the work that we were doing. We were satisfied if we were working for ourselves. Now, not meaning to put politics in it, but for a person of color, I know that there was great hardship in sharecropping and before that, slavery. So I'm not addressing that piece at this point. But I want to talk about the fact that we just have this mentality instilled in us. And, if we have to be honest with slavery and sharecropping, it was even more so instilled in us. So I think we take that mentality over to our personal lives where now we've worked 8 hours, we've come home, we're tired, we've got to make dinner and get the kiddos fed and bathed and put to bed. So there is this rush. And then as a result of that, we came up with instant foods so that mom, who now were in the workplace also hustling, could get that meal on the table quickly by frozen foods and instant foods, instant mashed potatoes, and packaged or processed foods. So we kept moving to this, how can we do this quicker mentality. Personally, I like cooking from scratch and I like things being done slowly. I like a slow roasted whatever, or, potato or meat because it tastes better. I like taking the time to chop the vegetables. It's also meditative and soul satisfying to start a meal from scratch and then see the finished product, be excited, it be delicious, and then to enjoy that meal. So our society, because of industrialization, moved to this mechanism where we want things to roll out quickly and in order and repetitively. And we've taken that to our lives. The next question is resting or sleeping optional? And the answer to that is a hell no. Yeah, you can get away with sleeping less hours or not at all for a little bit. But if you don't sleep in 3 days, it is quite possible that you will become delusional and have a psychiatric break. So sleeping is really fundamental. Also, when we sleep, our bodies are not just inert. Our bodies are actually doing very important work, like it is repairing our cells. It is repairing any injuries that we have. It is curing diseases. Um, it is taking care of our immune systems. They're very important things that are happening during the sleep cycle. And if the sleep cycle is cut short, the work does not get finished. So your health really, not just sleep so that you'll be healthy, but it literally, your body is repairing itself. So literally, sleep is all about making sure that you remain healthy. Resting is also biblically important, right? For those of you who believe, uh, God rested after the seventh day, and He called it the Sabbath, and He hallowed it. He wants it to be holy, and we are to set that aside. But I know many Christians don't even think about that as one of the commandments, but it is indeed one of the commandments that's really upfront. That 7 days you shall work and labor, but on the 6 days you should work and labor, but on the seventh day you shall rest, and you should hallow it and make it holy. And um, it's an imitation of what God did. And I think when we don't take a Sabbath, we lose out on the benefit of Sabbath. So the benefit of Sabbath is the benefit of turning off and rebooting your computer. Sometimes if you keep your computer on all the time, then there are cookies and viruses and I don't know, things that are in the computer that are temporary files, that if you close out your computer and have it reboot, that it will reboot without those files and it will perform better. Likewise, taking a Sabbath day, a day of rest, a day when you even spend time praising God, um, you know, attending to your spirit self. There's a part of you, whether you believe in God or not, you are still spirit, and you still have to tend to that spirit man or woman in you. And when you do, you are refreshed. Very simple things like communing in nature, reading your Bible, praying and praising, listening to music, all refresh that part of your soul, that part of you. But turning off for a day um, can help you think more clearly, make sounder decision, be less emotionally fatigued and exhausted, less mentally exhausted, so that you can think clearer. And that time that you take off, by the way, because you have this clarity of thought and abilities, like, you're not fumbling things, you actually are redeeming that time that you perceive as lost and the Sabbath, because you are able to function optimally. You gain a lot more time. Think about all the time you spend looking for stuff or daydreaming or whatever. That is taken care of by having times to rest. I will be honest that I haven't always honored the Sabbath, and have recently re-upped my desire to do that because of the benefits that I talked about. But by nature, I have bought into our culture, and I'm of two cultures, and both cultures say work hard and work diligently. And so I can be a workaholic. I can work I 7 days a week. There's a lot to do when you are self-employed. So, I've had to take a step back and reconnect with what I believe in terms of resting on one days. Sometimes I do Saturdays, sometimes I do Sundays, but for me, it's a matter of downloading everything that's in my brain, clearing the cobwebs out, just not having to think about anything hard or difficult or get anything done or meet a deadline. I think it does wonders for the brain. At first, when I started doing that, I felt kind of guilty, bored, depressed, aimless, helpless, like, oh, I should have done all these other things and I didn't get them done. But like I said, I'm finding that it's refreshing. My brain is rebooting and it makes for more clarity throughout the remainder of the week. Another way, besides sleeping, are there other ways to rest? Besides sleeping, are there other ways to rest? Is the next question. Yes. So, sleeping is one way to rest. Sitting still is a way to rest. Even if you have difficulty sleeping, just lying still is a way to rest as well. It does not give you the REM sleep where you feel restored after it, but it does count. But I have a secret way that I have rested that I does wonders for me, and I need to schedule this soon. One way that I rest is by going on retreat. As a teenager, I learned to do retreats. And this was a silent retreat. So initially, when I first did it, I was like, I don't know if I could not talk for 24 hours, 48 hours. Luckily, I could. And it was a beautiful thing. When you are silent, you get to hear the still small voice of God talking to you and directing you. I know perhaps you're saying this is only for the faithful. No, again, you get real clarity when you are silent for 24 to 48 hours. And it's a beautiful experience. You come away um, with so much wisdom from the experience. So, always moving deprives you of that. Speaking about always moving, the next question is, why is it that there's some people who are always kind of on the go and as if they um, are energizer bunnies, goal oriented and have to get things? Well, there could be many reasons for that. But one of the reasons that I see most often is that people are avoiding. They're avoiding thinking about things. They're avoiding dealing with things. They're avoiding people. They're avoiding bills. Um, they're avoiding examining their life and realizing that they are dissatisfied and have to change something because change is scary. So a lot of times people have to are avoiding their past, especially if it's a traumatic past. Um, and those traumatic events start to bleed into their current lives because they are making decisions based on it. And so avoidance may be a backward way of resting, um, but it is not the healthiest way to rest. You really don't get peace from that thing that you're avoiding. It's still there when you return later on. Um, I was speaking about retreats before. So let me share with you that and ask you to be my accountability partner. I have always wanted to create a retreat for my clients. And right now I am working on a retreat, a women's retreat. Um, I want you to keep that in mind. It'll be sometime in end of May, toward the ends of May, or in June. So keep that in mind and block your calendar. It will definitely be on a weekend. It'll probably be 2 to 3 days, and um, it should be awesome. It should be lots of fun. Um, so I'm going to jump out for now, and I just wanted to step in and answer questions if I had any, and to give you some feedback about rest and how absolutely instrumental rest is to our health and well-being. This is Dr. Michelle Richards. I am the Joy Doctor, and this has been the Ask the Joy Doctor show. To reach me, you can go to CHEZJOY.com. That's cat, hat, egg, zoo, Junebug, octopus, yellow.com. If I can be of help, I would be glad to do that. You can reach us right back here next week, Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time for the live program. And thereafter, the program is edited and premieres on Fridays at 12 noon Central Standard Time. Hope you can join us next time. This is Dr. Michelle Richards. Bye for now. Oh, remember to discover your joy remember to discover your joy for life. I love that. Bye for now.